I am Mr. Abell Obligar, a Master of Arts in Teaching English, graduating student of Carlos Helado Memorial State College, Talisay Campus, Negros Occidental, Philippines. I am a volunteer educator and the program director of a non-government organization, the Educators of Negros Island Incorporated, in which our organization advocates to provide free and quality education and training initiatives for the underserved youth. Together with me is my advisor and co-author of this paper, Dr. Maria Rosa Caraballe, who is an English teacher but found passion and desire to train educators in the field by sharing her insights learned from the significant academic experiences. She graduated her PhD English major in language from the University of San Jose Recoletos in Cebu City, Philippines, as a scholar. So due to the limited time of presentation, I will be the one to share with you our study. So the title of this study is Reading Comprehension of Indigenous Students Amidst the New Normal. The reason why we chose this study is the fact that reading as a macro skill is an important aspect in students' learning in this time of the new normal education. Low reading comprehension has been a never-ending issue among Filipino learners, especially for the indigenous students, because not all of them have the capacity to purchase gadgets and equipment to be able to attend online classes and access to internet for research purposes. In 2015, the United Nations adopted the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, also known as the Global Goals, as a universal call to empower and also to promote social, economic, and political inclusion to all. To achieve this goal, educators must work hand in hand to provide equal chance to give educational opportunity for all, especially to the indigenous communities. Here in the Philippines, the indigenous communities were greatly affected by COVID-19 pandemic, especially in the aspects of education. To address this concern, the Department of Education of the Philippines implemented the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan that emphasized the utilization of modular and online learning mechanisms. One of the teachers in one of the tribal communities on the northern part of Negros Island, Philippines, mentioned that reading proficiency test was conducted in 2018 before the onset of the pandemic, and there's no national reading test administered yet due to some restriction in this new normal education. The result of the 2018 assessment revealed that students, or most of the students, have low English literacy rate because these learners still have the difficulty in comprehending and understanding basic English passages or texts. So for the research objectives of this study aimed to distinguish the comprehension level of indigenous students, both in silent and oral reading areas, and also we conduct interview to gather their experiences in reading amidst the new normal. Our respondents of this study are the 5 indigenous grade 7 students in one of the public secondary schools on the northern part of Negros Occidental during the school year 2021-2022. So these snapshots are the documentation during the uphill trek going to the location of the school. For our respondents, we named them based on the Greek gods and goddesses. So we also ensure the ethical considerations. First, approval of the tribal chieftain, the principal, the parents, and the students. The respondents were also informed by the purpose of this research and they may opt to withdraw. Confidentiality of data collected was also ensured, and of course, the objectivity of conducting the research is also secured. So Table 1 presents the level of reading comprehension of indigenous students, both in oral and silent reading. So we have here 2 areas, the oral and silent reading, and all of the students got the frustration level result. The frustration result of the indigenous students in reading comprehension level emphasized that they are slow readers, and it also signifies that these students are unfamiliar and do not fully understand the words they read. In support to the frustration result of the indigenous students, the responses during the in-depth interview pointed out their difficulty in understanding their modules because it is written in English. And we also have here 3 major themes based on their responses. The first major theme is the challenges in reading, the IEP students or the Indigenous people students' eye view. The first sub-theme is reading without understanding. When we ask them about reading of English modules, most of them sometimes read the reading materials even without understanding the text written on it, because for them, the students, they wanted to just read the task or the assigned task for them. That is the only thing that they have to do. But sometimes they just read it without even comprehending the text that is being given to them. Helios said he reads, but it is hard for him to understand. Reading with home learning partners. Most of the Indigenous people students are being guided by their parents and immediate family members, including their aunt and their cousin, as their study buddies in answering their modules. Demeter said if she doesn't know anything, he asked help from her mother. Next, reading with limited accessibility. Most of the students do not have gadgets, and the learner's geographical location makes it difficult for them to have stable connection. In fact, Hira, one of the students, said that she sometimes research online, and she has to climb elevated areas or elevated parts of their community to capture internet connection and reception. And that is one of the struggles that they face up until now. Next is learning with unfinished readings and unanswered modules. Zeus mentioned that sometimes his teacher return his unfinished modules. Whenever he finds it difficult to answer, he let others to answer it for him. And with that, sometimes it implies that the learning of the students is compromised because they are too much dependent of their home learning partners, and at the same time, they will not be able to comprehend the text or the reading materials provided to them. Next, learning with available reading materials and textbooks. All of the participants have mentioned that their teachers let them borrow all textbooks in their subjects for grade 7, and which were distributed to the guardians or the parents during the enrollment or the first day of the class. And that in that way, the students will be able to have their own textbooks as their basis in studying and answering their modules. Helios mentioned that he has textbooks in English and Filipino, but now he doesn't have it anymore because he already returned it. And because it is scheduled, they have the time to receive the textbooks, and they also have the time to give back their lent notebooks, their textbooks. Sorry. Learning with limited English vocabulary. According to the responses of the participants, they find it difficult to answer their modules because of the unfamiliar English words they have read. And we realize that students have less vocabulary knowledge because Hira said sometimes she doesn't fully understand what she reads, and it's really different if it's face to face because teachers can discuss thoroughly and can guide them all throughout their reading. Second major theme is a new normal paradigm shift, the Indigenous people students coping with the predicament in reading or their coping strategies in surviving in these trying times. The first one is learning with the aid of gadgets. They use mobile phones for research purposes and also to communicate with their teachers. Zeus mentioned that he borrows his sister's laptop when he goes to Bacolod. Bacolod is actually a capital city of Negros Occidental, Philippines, and there he can have stable internet connection, and he can borrow his sister's laptop. Next is that adopting strategies as a means of coping with reading difficulties. For the students to be able to understand fully what they read, they use two strategies. The first one is silent reading, which Hira said she uses her eyes in reading and in understanding what she reads. And the second one is the guided reading, because Helios mentioned he reads together with his mother. The last is the silver linings of reading in the new normal. Students have the opinions and their own way of understanding the importance of reading, especially in amidst the new normal. Significant perception of students towards reading in the new normal generally explains its importance in understanding the modules provided for them, because for them, they believe it's their preparation tool when face-to-face class resumes. So in conclusion, reading has really an important role in the learning process of the students, especially they are in the modular learning mechanisms implemented by the Department of Education of the Philippines. Therefore, it is important that stakeholders, together with the school, the teachers, and the parents, should work hand in hand to develop the Indigenous students' reading comprehension. For the recommendations, to make it short, the IP students of the target community may adopt and may also collaborate with their fellow classmates, and to have this collaboration as well with their teachers for the reading enhancement program to be proposed in this study. For the junior high school students as well. For the language teachers and the home learning partners should also work hand in hand, because they are the ones who have direct contact with their kids. And with that, reading should also be practiced at home and even online, or even during the times when the face-to-face class resumes. For the school head and the English program supervisor, they can also adopt the reading enhancement program proposed in this study, not only in the Indigenous community, but also as in the whole Negros Island, the Philippines, and nationwide as well. For the Department of Education may also adopt the same enhancement program and may also revive the reading policy within the classroom and even outside the school. For the educators of Negros Island Incorporated, as a non-government organization, they can also conduct literacy drive and have sent proposals for other international organizations or institutions, or local organizations as well, for the support of the enhancement program. For the researchers ourselves, we also have to understand more about our research study, and also to apply what we have found out in this study for us to be able to come up with other studies in the future. For the future researchers, they may also conduct assessment or evaluation of the Indigenous students in terms of their reading comprehension in the higher levels, like grade 7 to grade 12 students. So this is our proposed program. I am a Batang IP. Bata, it means kid or a child. IP means Indigenous people. So I am a Batang IP, and I read. R for read, evaluate, align, and design. So basically, this proposed enhancement program includes the implementation of series of online and offline reading methods through parent-student session, and collaborate with other NGOs or non-government organizations, and also teachers' capability enhancement training, because we believe that the teachers are the implementers of this proposed program, and they should be equipped with the skills and the competency for them to be able to efficiently and effectively help the students in developing their reading comprehension. And that ends my presentation. Thank you so much.